right, good morning, fellow investing brothers and sisters near and far. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's Monday as of this video recording. For those still holding AMC, it's up almost 6%, up in the 11s right now, which is kind of cool. People are speculating that earnings reports and delayed good news about Taylor Swift numbers, possible Beyonce numbers, are factoring in there, which is all good news. I'm certainly open to that. I'm not super attached to it either way, because honestly, for the last, almost 3 years, we've been talking about how the price isn't real, the line isn't real, so I don't tend to invest a ton of emotional energy either way. I'm certainly happy it's up, and we'll continue to pull for it being up. I continue to also watch the X coins, XRP, XLM. I'm not really an XDC, but that certainly seems like a good one to research. I'm not going to advise anyone either way to buy. It may not be a fit for you. Just something you could look at if you are so inclined. But I personally feel like XRP and XLM definitely starting to see some movement there. We have for a while. Japan has talked about XRP becoming just a core factor of their way of doing banking business. Other nations too. BRICS nations are, I believe, looking mostly at XRP to do cross-border transactions. So it's still, for me, so affordable to get into, I just jump in. Obviously, my biggest investment is still intellectual property. I still do music for little documentaries, commercial stuff like that. And the thing that's cool for me is actually become easier to collect little bits of royalties using third parties than it was, even 15 years ago. I would have a non-domestic commercial and trying to collect those royalties from somewhere outside the U.S. You had to be affiliated with a company who would do that for you in each territory typically, or just have a supremely great record deal where they already had those affiliations in place. Anyway, so I had a little bit of that running. I think it's probably still running underneath this, because I do have quite a bit of commercial music that sometimes gets rejected, believe it or not. It just sometimes isn't, it's a competitive business, so you'll submit a piece of music for some sort of use in TV, film, gaming, multimedia, or not multimedia, but media, corporate events, things like that. And they may go, hey, that's really cool, but it's just not quite right. We're going to go this way. So you end up having this track, and you kind of hang on to it. I put out a whole album of those things a few years ago and used the proceeds to help benefit our local habitat, which generated a little money for them. So yeah, that's my biggest investment is intellectual property of various sorts. Especially since we have so many platforms now, obviously YouTube, Rumble, it's just a great way to go. So one thing I did want to talk about some more was just this sort of incrementally unfolding story about Elon planning to turn X, Twix, Twitter, whatever you call it, into a huge banking concern for the unbanked. I think that on its face, that is an amazing thing. I would like to see 5 more Elon's do 5 more separate platforms like that if we actually had 5 more Elon's on the planet. My thinking is that we actually do. You ever meet a kid who, turns a Coke bottle into a hot water heater? I mean, there are a lot of kids on the planet right now who are just phenomenally intelligent and have the resources to act on their intuition and ability and muse and create all kinds of things. And my feeling is that this is actually a great time to be alive in terms of finding more of these incredible mad scientists, super genius people who can engage in these various concerns. And my hope is that we see more of them involved in helping people retain their freedoms to transact, around the world freely. I'm not sure all of them will have the resources Elon has. Obviously, he has his own satellites, his own platform, but who knows? So, anyway, that to me was a really encouraging thing, and I may not agree with Elon on 100% of everything he does. I don't know anyone that I agree with 100% of the time, but it's just encouraging to see someone who has that kind of vision and cranial firepower take on banking in that way. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. What is it now? It's I'm looking at 11.28 in terms of AMC price. So for those of you who are watching the numbers, I usually only look at them about at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, as I figure all of you will let me know if it hits 300. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you and yours are thriving, and we'll catch up with you later.